and get dive right into the panel. But just kind of giving you guys a high level about we formed this I would say kind of a society almost 2 years back. We have had probably what Kanchana about 6 or 7 events so far, and it's been great. We got a lot of feedback from people who kind of gave us some ideas on what we can continue doing in developing our content and helping everyone who comes on board. So we love that. My name is Jagruti Solanki. I'm a co-chair of the Thai women's group, and Kanchana here, who is our chairperson. And Kalpi, who couldn't make it to this, but she's a second co-chair. So between Kalpi and I, we have supported Kanchana and had the privilege to work with the Thai community as co-chairs, help with the content and put together the program. Overall, the way we kind of geared our program was more kind of keeping in mind to help foster education, help promote women in leadership roles. Oh, Anil, were you saying something?
Let me just forward you the link.
Oh, oh, yeah, to promote women in leadership, from entrepreneurial and entrepreneurial side, and we have received great feedback so far. This is our second year into the program, and one of the things Kalpi and I both wanted to do was hand off our co-chair positions to two amazing women who are here, Kavita and Sapna. They'll be taking on as a co-chair starting 2021. And frankly speaking, I think you guys are already acting as one. So thank you so much for past almost half a year or more of all your hard work with helping us put together these events and encouraging women like yourselves. We love your energy, and we think year 2021 is going to look amazing with both of you involved. With that, Kavita and Sapna, I don't want to steal your thunder. I'll just kind of hand it back to you and let you guys say a little more about yourself and your background. Would love to hear from you. So Sapna,
Yeah,
you want to go first?
sure. Hey guys, my name is Sapna Patel. I will be the co-chair for Thai Atlanta Women for both 2021 and 2022 alongside Kavita. I cannot express how excited I am to build and lead this community of amazing women supporting other amazing women over the course of the next 2 years. I've been involved with Thai since 2009. I was actually a part of the original women's committee alongside Kanchana and Sonjui. We didn't have exactly the level of support that we have today. And so I think at that time we were active for maybe a little bit over a year. And that was almost 11 years ago. So as Jagruti mentioned, the relaunch of the Women's Committee started about 2 years ago, and I was asked to become a part of the core committee late last year around the same time that Thai Global formalized and launched the Women's Council globally across all 61 chapters. So I do feel that this is incredible, not only to be able to grow and add to what what the Women's Committee started 2 years ago, but to also have a global backing across all 61 chapters. So the vision of Thai Women is really to embrace, engage, and empower entrepreneurs across the globe, irrespective of the size of their enterprises or their origin, standing or background. So this vision's set to be achieved through a solid mission of sustainable and easy to adapt programming across all 61 chapters that will track the entrepreneurial journey. And the program is really built on the pillars of Thai Global, which are learning, mentoring, access to funding, scalability, safe space, and community. So more importantly, with Thai Women of Atlanta, our mission is to really just build and empower a stronger community of women within the Thai organization here locally. I'm going to pass it over to Kavita, who will give you a little bit more insight into our plan for 2021. But I'm very excited for this opportunity, and I hope to see you guys attend some of our events that we'll be putting on over the course of the next 2 years. Thank you.
Thanks, Sapna. So my name is Kavita Patel. I am also going to be a co-chair 2021 and 2022. Some of our goals for 2021 and beyond are to grow and evolve this community, empower some women, to empower other women, and encourage women to plug into some of the other Thai groups and create partnerships and opportunities, and also to provide content-driven events, as well as some social events throughout the year. So we are planning on having 4 events at least next year, and we're still working out some of the details of those events. And hopefully by January, we'll have a more concrete event schedule for you guys. And we wanted to go ahead and ask everyone if they could, if you have ideas or any topics that you're passionate about that you want us to cover, go ahead and put something in the chat feature and let us know your thoughts, and we'll definitely take those into consideration, because we want to make sure that this is a community meant for you guys, and that it is covering the topics that you guys are interested in. So we really want to make this about everyone, and we want to grow the community. So please let us know your thoughts. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Kanchana, and she wants to say a few words before passing it on to our speakers.
Thank you. Don't I have the most good-looking co-chairs over here? Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to Jagriti and to Kalpi. I know Kalpi couldn't join us. She actually got a new job in the Bay Area, and she's pretty active with the Thai Bay Area now. And I guess that's the beautiful thing about Thai is once you're in, you're here. And it doesn't matter where you travel globally, there's always a network you can tap into. So we're really happy Kalpi has got this great job, and again, when I think about Jagriti and Kalpi, I think it was like working on a startup when we started the Women's Committee 2 years ago. There wasn't a Women's Committee globally, which they do have one as of 2020. So which is great, because when you have the parent organization having an initiative like that, you get a lot more strength and a lot more support, and I guess just an endorsement that you are in the right direction. So I'm really excited that Thai Atlanta is now part of Thai Global. So Jagriti and Kalpi, thank you. Probably extremely hardworking 2 ladies, and I was fortunate to meet both of you. Jagriti is a CPA, super smart, and Kalpi is a Wharton graduate and Georgia Tech graduate, and has seamlessly moved from finance to product management, and we wish both of you well. I know Jagriti is still going to be part of the core committee. Kavita and Sapna, you should be super excited. She's signed up to be part of the core committee with us in 21 and 22, so that'll definitely help with knowledge transfer and transition. And I also want to welcome 2 beautiful ladies, Sapna and Kavita. Kavita is a CPA and also a certified internal auditor. That's super smart. So, and also your company is a sponsor for Thai, right, Kavita? That's awesome. And also a fun fact, Kavita just got married in November, so congratulations. And beautiful, beautiful pictures. So thank you for sharing. And Sapna has been, Sapna as the other co-chair, has been part of Thai for a long time. Like she said, almost 10+ years. And I'm glad to have you back engaged actively now. And Sapna has been an entrepreneur since she was 23, and right now works for software automation. So congratulations. And again, excited to work with both of you. We're going to go over to our panel, our exciting panel today. And I have my friend and fellow charter member, Sonjui, going to lead the panel today. Sonjui has been a charter member for over 10 years, or even before that. I think, Sonjui, I've been there 10 years. You were there before me, so it must be 10+ years. And she's also the chairperson for the Asian Americans Advancing Justice Atlanta. And she's on the board of Leadership Atlanta. And also she's a woman-owned law firm, congratulations, and a minority-owned law firm. And on the advisory council for Cool Girls, 2 of the we have a speaker from Cool Girls here today. And she's been a corporate attorney, corporate lawyer for 20+ years. Excited to have you back, Sonjui, and participating with us. And thank you for doing this panel. It's very timely, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Kanchana. And thanks, and I'm happy to be back, part of the Thai family here, and thanks for all the introduction. I mean, Kavita, Sapna, Jagruti, really appreciate it. So the essence of what we want to talk about today is to highlight women. We are the Women's Committee of Thai, to highlight women who are inspiring women. And to do that, we have two women that are doing incredible work with Atlanta's youth, including some boys as well, but a lot of focus on women. And for me, you know, about 7-8 years ago in my journey as an Atlanta citizen, I realized that I really wasn't focusing on where a lot of the needs were. And that led me to Cool Girls. It was a little bit of a journey, but I met Cool Girls and started volunteering with them almost 5 years ago now. And that's how long I've known Tanya. And the Posse Foundation, I was introduced to at a Girl Scouts of Atlanta event a few years ago, and they stuck with me. Their mission is so compelling that it stuck with me. And I'm so happy to have Zenith here to talk about that. So you have a wide variety of folks in our audience, Zenith and Tanya. You have some from the Women's Committee. We have several men. I have some good friends. Tanya, you may recognize Nira is on the phone. She's part of our volunteer group for Cool Girls. So let's start off by talking about what you guys do. So Tanya, let's start with you. If you could tell us just, you know, we're going to talk a lot about specific things, but what is the primary goal of Cool Girls, and what do you do for the girls in Atlanta?
So thank you, Sonjui, and thank you for having me on. It's good to see Nira, where I see her name, and I also see Anil, so hello. So really, our goal at Cool Girls is simple. It's to help girls develop confidence and life skills that are essential for them to become successful and confident women. So we do that through education and exposure to a broader world of opportunity. So the cool thing about Cool Girls, no pun intended, is that the girls are in the program from the time they have an opportunity to stay in the program from the time they are 7 years old until they graduate from college. And we provide college scholarships for them as well. So it's kind of cool that we're really able to stick with them through those very important developmental years and give them the tools that they need to see them develop into cool women.
Wonderful, thank you. I can tell that you have said that a few times. So, and you know, one thing I failed to do is I didn't give a very proper introduction. Tanya has actually been with Cool Girls since 2001 and now serves as its executive director. So she has really been with the organization through that process. And I believe Cool Girls has now been in Atlanta almost 30 years. So with that, let me go to Zenith, and I'll do Zenith a little bit more, you know, be a little better about introducing her. She serves as the director of the Atlanta Posse Foundation, and she's been in that position since 2011. She and her staff support, you know, I think it's 240 scholars this year and maybe at any given time, and she can tell us more about that. And she has both a master's and a bachelor's in criminal justice, which I thought was very interesting, from the University of South Carolina. So Zenith, I'm gonna have you sort of address the same question so our audience here can get an idea of what the Posse Foundation does.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here today. So the Posse Foundation is a national organization based in New York. It was started in 1989 by one student who simply said, I would not have dropped out of college if I had my posse. And from that, we've created a national organization with 10 sites, including a national veterans program. And we just launched virtual posses that are going to not be bound by cities. But Atlanta has been here since 2007. And we essentially identify high school students who would be overlooked by the traditional admissions process. And we've developed a model that works for both schools and students that essentially is rooted in the belief that a small group of diverse individuals put together in a posse can be the catalyst to really make change. And we do that through leadership development and providing them scholarships to the top 100 colleges and universities. Ultimately, our goal is to create a world, a group of leaders who can really reflect the diversity that we see in the world. So for Posse, you know, I love the idea of cool girls. It really focuses on girls and develop them into cool women. I love that. The Posse Foundation, however, we have males and females in our program. However, the majority of our scholars are females. About 60 to almost 65% of our scholars are females, and so we support them from high school all the way through college. And our scholars graduate at 90%, which is above the 50 to 60% rate for 6-year graduations. And so we provide alumni, we provide graduate school support, fellowship support. And so actually at the end of December, we will have selected 700 students who will have earned over $120 million in full 4-year leadership and merit-based scholarships. So
that's amazing. Thank you. I have to tell you the one story from Posse that stuck with me, and I know I'm going to ask you a little bit about a story, but is when I attended this event. It was just when I was taking one of my children to college, and all the hoopla we had gone through, all the shopping, and you know, all of us driving, and there was a story about how you know, without Posse, some of these students, they get on a bus sometimes. They get on a bus with just their suitcase and take themselves to college because there really is not anybody to do all that for them. And it so resonated with me that there was an organization that recognized that that these scholars need that support. You know, the fact that they've gotten into college is just not the end all and be all. And so we've touched on this a little bit. We've talked about the fact that there are lots of girls involved. Cool Girls is all girls. Posse Foundation is 65%. What are the other demographics? I mean, I don't want to like tippy-toe around the issue. I mean, what is the population that we're serving? For Cool Girls, Tanya, you are in DeKalb County and Fulton County, right? That's right. That's it. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. And in DeKalb and Fulton County, we are in those neighborhoods and those communities that are underserved. And so all of the girls they attend Title I schools where at least 85% of the student body is free or reduced lunch. And our girls I think it's 91% of our girls receive free lunch. So of course, that's clear that the girls that we serve are underserved. And so we meet them where they are. And with that, with all of the programs that we provide, the field trips, the college tours, everything is free of charge, the summer camps, because what we want to do is remove any barrier that would keep our girls from being able to participate in the programs that we serve.
That's right. And then I know depending on, and it's all Atlanta Public Schools, is that right?
Right, so it's Atlanta Public Schools. The majority is DeKalb County because we were founded in Eastlake. So I don't know how many of you are from Atlanta, but Eastlake back in 31 years ago, which is how long Cool Girls has been around, was not the sprawling goth community that you see today. It was actually named Little Vietnam because of all of the drive-by shootings, just all of the violence that our kids, period, not just girls, all of the youth in that community were experiencing. So it was a group of volunteers who just wanted to do something different and give them an opportunity and an outlet and a safe space, I should say, to come home after school because a lot of their parents were working. So a lot of the kids were coming home. They were latchkey kids, and on their way from school to home, they were being accosted by drug dealers, just, you know, all the temptations and the social ills in that community. They got together and created a youth program, an after-school program. It was boys and girls. 9 girls got together and decided they wanted to be named the Cool Girls of Eastlake. And so one of the volunteers happened to be an attorney here in Atlanta, and she just, went and got a 501c3, changed the name to Cool Girls, and 31 years later, we've served around 6,000 girls in the Atlanta area, mostly East Atlanta, but we also have some sites in the Atlanta public school system as well.
Thanks so much for clarifying that. And Zenith, what does your population of scholars look like?
So our students come from across Metro Atlanta. So we're, the majority of our students are in Fulton, Cobb, and DeKalb counties, but our students really represent the Metro Atlanta footprint. And the majority of our students are into lower to about 80% of our students, more like 90% probably, are lower to middle income students. They're Pell eligible, which means that they fall in that income bracket. And very diverse group of students. Majority of our scholars are African American, Hispanic, Latino, and also Asian white, but the majority of the students, particularly who come from Atlanta, are African American, Hispanic, Latino students.
But it's Metro Atlanta that you're serving through this.
It's right, Metro Atlanta, and through the schools. We recruit through the high schools and community-based organizations. So you all mentioned that you have a high school program. Would love to have you all as a nominating organization for some of the students that you work with in your program, as well as schoolgirls.
Well, maybe one of the things that can come out of this is to see how TIE Atlanta's both university and high school programs could work with each of your organizations to
Absolutely.
See how we could get some of
Absolutely.
your students the resources that that are being provided through those programs. So we'll follow up with that. So Zenith, I'm going to stay with you. I'd love to hear a story about somebody, maybe a scholar or a family that you have been involved with in Posse Foundation, just to give us a sense of who these kids are and what you do with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many stories. That the one thing that I have to say, about Posse that I have learned is that, even students who come from, economically depressed or underserved schools, that when you put them in an environment and you provide them with the resources, that they have the capacity and the potential to thrive every time, right? I have seen students who, have gone to, under-resourced schools, their GPAs are higher when they get into college, they become Fulbright fellows, and so forth and so on. I mean, there's so many stories. I was trying to think of, one story that I can think of to share. And to be honest with you, there are just, so many stories. I'll tell you a story that that can relate. A couple of years ago, or currently, we did it virtually this year, but I participate in a program with the Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta, Camp CEO. And every year through that program, we don't intentionally come in to recruit young girls there, but as I'm talking about the Posse program, I get to meet some amazing girls that go through that program. And this particular year, it's funny, there were two sisters, Ankita and Anika, who were in the program. And we went on the zip line. And I don't know how many of you have ever zip line, but I'm not a fan of being in the woods. And so this is my leadership journey to go in nature. And we did this zip lining where it looks very easy from, when you're on the ground, but when you get up there and you're ready to jump off that cliff, it is, it took me about 20, 30 minutes, and I'm happy that we were the last ones there. But I literally tell the story because the young lady there, the entire time we were talking about, I was talking to her about leadership. And then I said, oh, Posse. And I'm like, you're so, we kept going, well, you jump, no, you jump, you jump. And we ended up both like jumping. But I tell that story because not only did she become a Posse scholar, but also her sister. One went to Boston University, the other went to Syracuse University, and both came from backgrounds and families that at the same time that their parents would never have been able to afford for both of them to, get a $50,000, $60,000 a year tuition. And they are both just thriving and doing amazing. So without that support system, they probably would have dropped out of college and not have had the level of success. And both of them are doing very well. Both are living in the Washington, D.C. area and just doing amazing things as alum.
That's great to hear.
One of many stories. Yeah.
Yeah. Tanya, does something stick out for you? Somebody or?
Well, there are so many stories. As you mentioned, Sonjui, I've been with the organization for many, many years. And so I've had the privilege of seeing girls start from 3rd grade who are now college graduates and giving back. And if they live in the Atlanta area, they absolutely come back and volunteer at Cool Girls. The story that Zenith shared actually made me think about one of our Cool Girls, Tabitha Brown, who has been with the program, been in the program since she was in the 3rd grade, and just this year she graduated from Fort Valley. We were actually at a summer camp when she was probably in the 4th or 5th grade, and we were about to do the jet skis, actually. Well, she was doing the jet skis. I was talking her into being brave enough to do the jet skis. And so I knew I wasn't going to do it, but I was talking her into doing it. And the funny thing about it is she ended up talking me into doing the jet skis. And so I say that to say, while we talk about how important it is for the mentors and the volunteers to make an impact on the girls' lives that we serve, a lot of times they actually turn and end up empowering us as volunteers and as adults and as, as staff and board members, if you will. And so, but before that, the story I had planned on sharing was one of our girls, Destiny Daniel. She also started the program when she was, I think Destiny was maybe in the 4th or 5th grade. She was extremely smart, just really socially awkward. She just didn't quite know how to express herself, how to manage her emotions, but we knew that she was like a diamond in the rough, if you will. And so just seeing her and now hearing her tell her story about how Cool Girls impacted her life is just amazing. And so while I could share the story, I decided that I would actually read an excerpt from her essay that she wrote for us as she applied for a scholarship to go off to college. So if you can just bear with me, I'm just gonna read a small part of it. And so just to give you a little background, we have different programs. Girls Club is our program for girls that are in elementary and middle school. And so when the girls go on to high school, we have a program called Cool Scholars. So that's for our 9th through 12th graders. So here she's talking a little bit about Cool Scholars. She says, Cool Scholars centers around building confident young ladies. Subsequently, in the program, many of our workshops are about confidence, specifically being why it's important to have confidence in the world, as well as admire our personal beauty. I believe this is a crucial aspect of the organization because empowerment is a byproduct of confidence. And in summation, being a scholar has led to an increase in knowledge of not only myself, but other aspects in life that I have taken with me in school, my community, and my workplace. And she says, undoubtedly, Cool Girls is inspiring today's women to be empowered in tomorrow's workforce. And having this experience has surely prepared me for it. And so for me, I only read just a little bit of that, but for me, it really hit home because she's the first person in her family to graduate from high school. It was through Cool Scholars that she went on her first plane ride to a college tour in Washington, D.C., where she traveled, where she had a chance to tour Howard University. and she is now a freshman at Howard University. So she got into her dream school. We helped with the financial burden that her family, she just didn't think that she'd be able to, or her family think that she would be able to get into Howard or be able to pay the tuition. So we're just so happy that we were able to support her and to see her dreams come true.
So with Cool Girls, it's about developing them from elementary through high school, and then, you know, hopefully supporting them through scholarships. I think Posse Foundation, you pick up the kids in high school, is that right? And you have a high school program that takes them through college.
Yeah, that's correct. So students are eligible to be nominated for Posse in the junior year, and we support them. They begin the interview process for us the beginning of their senior year. And so in January of their senior year, all the way through graduation, we support them. We have an 8-month program that helps them while they're in high school, prepare them for that successful transition. And then for the 4 years that they're on campus, we support them with their first 2 years. They get a tenured faculty mentor. We have career coaches that provide additional support for them as well. And then my team, we actually visit them on campus 4 to 5 times a year. We're now doing that virtually, but there's a lot of support to ensure that they continue to persist and graduate at 90%. 100% is the goal, but 90% is typically where we land.
That's amazing. So I'd love to hear just, you know, I'm not from Atlanta. I grew up in the Northeast, but, you know, I've been here longer than, you know, any place else now. And I know Posse is in a number of cities, and I'd love to hear what's unique about Atlanta, the kids from Atlanta. What do you see here, and how do they stand out?
Yeah, oh my gosh, how do they stand out? So, you know, Atlanta just in the South has its own unique culture, and our students, you know, from Atlanta, we have students at Texas A&M, we have students in Boston, in New York, and in DC. And when they, you know, go off to school, they are very proud of being from Atlanta and all that the Southern, from everything from the seasoning of the foods to everything Southern about. They try to, you know, hang on to that and really just bring that diversity into, you know, other areas where there may not be a strong representation of Atlanta students. And I say that because that distinction has happened. You know, we may have students from New York and Atlanta at a particular school, which is the case at Brandeis. And there's always, you know, we love the Atlanta students. We love Atlanta. We want to come, you know, and visit Atlanta. So, you know, I think that's one of the unique things. The Posse program is a national program. Our motto looks the same, you know, in each city. So what is different is really the demographics and the uniqueness of each one of our cities. So I would have to say what's unique about Atlanta is just that our students carry that pride of being from Atlanta and being from the South to wherever, you know, whichever institution they go to for us.
Love
and
that.
It's kind of funny to see it unfold with them. So, yeah.
So, Tanya, I know all organizations need money. Like, I know funding is always number one. And actually, I just have to put a plug in. I'm sorry, Zenith, I've not been to the Posse event, but Cool Girls really puts on the best gala in Atlanta. Okay, it's called the Hot Pink Party. We really look forward to it. Haven't missed it till 2020, but you know, what can you do? We're looking, and Tanya's in pink, and you all get to show up in your bright pinks for that event. But besides funding, which is very important, what would you say? What does Cool Girls need the most? Other than funding, which we know has to be number one for any nonprofit?
Yes, that's always a hard question. However, it's twofold now. So literally, we are looking for someone to help us raise funds, a development staff person actually to help us raise our awareness and to help us attract more donors. So that is certainly a need at Cool Girls. And then we're also always in need of volunteers. And of course, since COVID, that looks a little different, but there's still opportunities for volunteers to come in and mentor our girls. We're looking at virtual mentoring now. We have a one-on-one mentoring program that's, you know, traditionally the traditional face-to-face mentoring, but we're looking at different ways to mentor now. And then going virtual, you know, there are opportunities to have speakers and panels to come in and speak to the girls. So we're always looking for volunteers. And I look forward to connecting with some of your members to actually come and talk to the girls about entrepreneurship. That's something that we really talk about with our high school girls. And so there's nothing more valuable than actually having entrepreneurs talk about their journeys and the challenges around that. So a development director and volunteers.
Okay, great. And I'll come to you, Zenith, in a second about the same question, but I know it was interesting with Cool Girls. We had, our group of volunteers was mostly women, but we had one or two men, and the girls really loved the men the most. You know, they loved it when they came into their environment. They liked talking to them, and we were teaching we teach a coding class. It's a girls who code program that we have at the Cool Girls after school sessions, but they really loved the men and, you know, really loved, you know, interacting with them. So I know your volunteers can be both men and women.
Absolutely.
So some of us like to hear that.
Yeah. Interactive. Great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And then Zenith, what can we, what would you say you need the most besides money?
Yeah, you know, when Tanya was talking, I was like, wow, are we working in the same organization? So Tanya, we are also recruiting for a development person. My development person is going to a next career move. And so happy to share our resumes of great people. So we should probably network in that area. I would say volunteers too. I mentioned earlier that we have career coaches. So we're always looking for individuals who can, you know, you can decide to do a 6-month interaction with the student up to 2 years with the student. And so we provide career coaches for students after their second year, which is when they really get to go into their, you know, career choices and internships. We also look for speakers. We have a winter career day coming up. And so we're going to look for speakers, you know, very diverse group of speakers. We will also through the spring semester next year, do a series of 1 hour, 45-minute kind of virtual workshops. And so we're also looking for speakers to do that as well, to really help our students in this virtual world to pivot to now how to navigate through the career and internship, how to really hone in and develop their skills and be prepared, because companies are still hiring, right? And so when they graduate, they still need to be prepared to enter into the workforce. So I would say those are probably the biggest thing. We always need donors. So, you know, fundraising is always a big thing. And, you know, we're fortunate as a nonprofit to really, we were able to pivot and do everything virtually. We were able to maintain and keep all of our staff. And we don't take that lightly. We were able to do that because of the generosity of our donors, you know, companies and foundations who continue to support us and understand that we still had a need for that level of support.
Well, that's great. Well, I think I see a formula of how Thai Women's Committee and maybe Thai the general population could really help with the speakers and the workshops. We already have, you know, 2 robust programs for high school students and college students that we could maybe help you with. So I haven't talked to anybody about it yet, but you know, we'll see what we can do with that. So thank you so much, both of you, for making time for being with us. Amin, Kanchana, organizers, I think we should just open it up for a few minutes if anybody has any questions for them, which we'd love to hear. And again, I mean, both your organizations and the two of you are you're so inspiring and so impressive. We're so lucky to have you in Atlanta. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know a lot of people are on mute, your cameras are off, but if you want to ask something, this would be a great time.
I had a question for Tanya. So I do understand that this is for the girls range from age, I think you mentioned 9 to over, but is there a specific audience that you're looking for? Like I also work with first generation students, doesn't matter boys, girls. So I was just curious how I can map it out and collaborate.
Do you mean in terms of the girls that we serve, Pretty, like the age range? Right, it's from most of it.
Do you specifically do I heard underserved. Is there any specific that you're only working for minority? I just wanted to know what's your audience.
Right, so 99% of the girls that we serve are Black and Latina girls. And so we are now working on our curriculum actually to make sure that we are addressing the issues that specifically that are specific to the needs, I'm sorry, you guys, for brown and Black and brown girls in the community, if that answers your question.
Okay, yeah.
I'll connect you, Preeti, with Tanya. When we were volunteering at the Doraville, in a Doraville school location, and we actually, there were a lot of Latino and actually a lot of Asian immigrant girls as well that we worked with. So,
okay. I have a quick question for Tanya. Tanya, this is Grace.
Hi, Grace.
Lovely to see the work you do. I have a 9th grader and a daughter, and I was curious if you have something similar to what I worked with my son. He's now a senior. He and I did this mother-son charity, a young men's service league, where we would volunteer together. I don't know if you have opportunities for young girls to maybe help other young girls through this organization. If my daughter would like to, mentor a younger girl, she's a 9th grader, very bright kid.
Right. And so actually, Grace, we do have some opportunities where your daughter would be able to volunteer as long as you were with her. Our typical age for volunteers is 21. But there are some different different activities and programs where we welcome younger volunteers to come with a parent.
Fantastic. Then I'll reach out to you. I'll get your information from someone.
That would be great.
Thank you.
Neera here. So Tanya, obviously years, Sonjui and I have been coming and teaching the young girls, and I absolutely am just inspired by those young girls, and I love coming in and teaching them. So looking forward to our virtual lessons that we give to them soon.
Yes.
But in the meantime, Zenith, I've not been involved in the Posse group, but it was very inspiring to hear your message and your story, and would love to, get more and involved in your organization as well too. So this is no questions, but just a little word of thanks. You guys do amazing work in the community, and very happy to help you all from a volunteer perspective. And as far as funding goes, I'll continue to keep pushing, because every time I volunteer for you, my company IBM helps us fund you guys more too. So we'll continue to keep doing some more of that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I will put my contact information in the chat, and feel free to email me. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Zenith. Bye.
Zenith and Tanya, this is Alex Mammon. I was just curious if you all work with older women, right? I mean, what I heard was really more about, younger. Are there programs that either you're involved in or ones you're aware of that do similar things in terms of coaching and counseling?
So we don't, go ahead, Tanya.
Oh, no. I was going to say we don't at Cool Girls. However, we do have older women volunteering and serving as mentors. But in terms of programs, I'm not aware of any. not right offhand.
Okay. Yeah, if you would post your contact information, that'd be great. I'd love to follow up.
Absolutely.
And I was going to say, we don't focus on programs here, but I'm thinking, you know, the United Way is a great, United Way 211 is also just a great resource to really identify those programs. They can also tell you those programs by regions within Metro Atlanta that work on that. And I know there are, you know, those programs out there specifically working with, you know, older women working in the refugee community and other, you know, diverse communities as well. So absolutely. Yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Not a question, but it's a comment and a compliment. So of all the galas that we go to, Tanya, your organization puts forth the absolute best gala, and from a fun, so for all the people who are on the call, you know, not only is it a fun event, it's a great fundraiser, you feel good about it at the end of the day, and it's a fantastic party. So we look forward to many more, and I'm sure if you push Sonjui, you can get many more people from this call added to the mailing list for the people coming to the gala.
Well, I'm definitely coming as soon as we can get out and go to an event. I think Posse does a great event, but I always see the amazing pictures from the Cool Girl party. I have a number of friends who volunteer and who work with Cool Girls. So I will be there next year, Tanya. Make sure I get an invitation so I can wear my pink dress too. Yeah, but you all can come over to the Posse Foundation's event too in October. We'll send you information for that too.
Will do. We'll have a seat for you, Zenith, or maybe a spot. I'm not sure if it's going to be virtual or in person this year, but you certainly have a space there. And let me just say that, was it 2 years ago? I think Sonjui was our Cool Volunteer of the Year. Well deserved. As she shared, she's been working with our girls for over 5 years, teaching them coding and getting them interested in STEM disciplines, she and Mira actually. And so we're so grateful for the time that they've spent with Cool Girls. So thank you so much.
Yep, thanks. As you said, we get so much more out of it than I think they get from us. We miss them and we're looking forward to doing it again. So I think our time is up. Thank you again, Zenith and Tanya, so much. I'm gonna turn it back to, I'm not sure which one of the beautiful ladies in red I'm turning it back to. Okay, please.
Yes. So Amin had to jump off, but really quickly, we're so excited about the upcoming year, and we definitely hope that you guys could join us for future events and maybe bring some friends along. If you're not already a TIE member, we definitely encourage you to join. Not only will you get access to the monthly TIE events and all the other perks, but you'll also get exclusive access to the women's events that we're going to put on. And so we're very excited. And then we are open. If anybody wants to share a favorite holiday ornament, we'll leave it open. Otherwise, you guys are more than welcome to jump off.
I brought something, Sapna, to share.
Okay, yes, let's do it. Okay.
I'm unprepared, so I'm going to drop off. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Bye. This is my first meeting. Definitely good. Thank you.
Thank you. And unfortunately, I have to drop off as well to go back and select scholars. But thank you so much for this invitation to join. I look forward to continuing the connections beyond this conversation.
Thank you so much, Ina.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
A plate from when the kids were young. It just reminds me of like putting cookies out and stuff, since they're not here anymore and I don't make cookies anymore, but like having the plate.
So that's a great segue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Tanya, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to have to drop off too, but I did bring something. I brought our family Kanara because we celebrate Kwanzaa.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and so I thought I'd share that with you all.
Thank you. When does that start?
Thank you, Tanya.
That starts December 26th and it ends December 1st. So actually, we sort of do because My family grew up celebrating Christmas traditionally. My husband's family celebrates Kwanzaa. So we have Kwanzaa at our house. And so we get to enjoy both holidays.
Love that. Thank you.
So I bought something, Sonjui, just like you. This is something my daughter made for me when she was in middle school. So it's an ornament that we somehow managed to save and keep over the years. So definitely very precious. And I also have a second one. I bought two. Sapna, see, you told us to bring something. I bought two. This is a nativity set from Germany, and it was given to me by a lady who I admire greatly. She's an entrepreneur for about 45 years or 50 years now. And I have a lot of appreciation for them, because I think, like, you know, what are we complaining about? When they started their businesses 45, 50 years ago, there was no internet. Okay, they were probably working out of white pages. So she gave this to me. She said she had like 100 plus nativity sets, and she was looking to give it away. And so I put my hand up. I said, I would love to have one. And she shipped this to me about 4 years ago. So it's definitely a treasured ornament in the house.
Nice. I have a couple of ornaments as well that I could share. So I actually found this recently. I always like to add new ornaments. Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I always like to add a couple of ornaments to my tree every year. So this one I felt like was fit for me, because it says boss lady, and I consider myself a boss lady. And then on the back it says flawless. So my pretty ornament. And then for those of you that don't know, I don't drink alcohol, but I love bubbly. And so I'm adding this little one to my tree this year. And it says, she's bright like glitter and bubbly like champagne. And I feel like it resonates well with my personality. So
Thanks, Tanya.
I brought something too. Mine's not really a decoration, but I use it as a decoration. When people give me Christmas cards, I put them on a little hook like this, and then I'll hang them around the house. And so it just makes me really happy when people send me stuff. So I don't know, that's one of my favorite things in the house.
That's awesome. Grace, you have something to share?
I actually did not even know that I was supposed to bring it. I've been enjoying everybody else's.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. But happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you.
yeah, happy holidays.
I think we're at 5:30 anyway.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining and for listening. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.